It's been 6 months since the launch of S25 Ultra, and Samsung have already moved on to the Fold 7 and Flip 7. But if you're still in the market, undecided to buy the S25 Ultra, watch this video till the end because what I'm going to tell you might surprise you. When I initially did the review of this phone, I said this is the best phone I've used. And coming from an iPhone 15 to the S25 Ultra, I still stand by that. But if I just look at S25 Ultra and my experiences in the 6 months I've used it as a daily driver, I have some thoughts. Before I go on to my thoughts, let me ask you this question. When deciding for a phone, what are the 5 things that you're going to look out for? For me, that's going to be the phone call. Can the phone actually do its primary job of actually making clear phone calls? Camera, obviously, everyone's taking videos. I'm taking videos for YouTube. I want to be able to sort of pick up the camera and snap the best quality possible. Does it have good connectivity? Like, for example, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth? Can it connect to multiple devices and connect faster? Sound quality, I'd like to sort of show clips around to friends and families, and it's not just about just listening using Bluetooth devices, but it's about sometimes listening using the speakers. And lastly, the phone screen, the quality of it. Those are the main things for me. After all of that, maybe I would care about the gaming and battery. I mean, battery has been good on these, but some of these things might be different. And let me tell you, this phone fails across all of my requirements, and let me explain why. So when we look at the phone call, for example, I don't know why, for whatever reason, the phone calls using the actual phone signals are terrible. People often say they can't hear me or I can't hear them. And when I look at the phone, I often get the maximum fiber and it will say I'm within the range of 5G or 4G, and people cannot hear me. Let's test Samsung's direct phone call. This is WhatsApp call. So let me make a call. Right, so this is the direct phone call. Right.
Hello?
Hey, I'm just doing a test for my video. How do I sound?
You sound okay, I'd say.
Yeah, okay. Have I sounded better than this before, or how is it? Do you think I'm calling directly, or do you think I'm calling like from like a place with like no signal?
No, I think you're calling from...
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna call you back again, and then let me know how it is. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Call you on WhatsApp.
Okay.
Right. Now I'm gonna call on WhatsApp.
Hello?
How does it sound?
It sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better than the previous call.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's it. Thank you. How come the direct phone call locally is not as clear as a call over Wi-Fi? And Samsung has this feature of Wi-Fi calling. So even when your signals are bad, you should be able to sort of take advantage of the Wi-Fi calling. And the Wi-Fi calling is, again, from my experience, has been really terrible when it works in combination with the actual phone signals. For me, instead of taking advantage of the Wi-Fi calling, I've gotten used to actually calling people through WhatsApp, and I think that's terrible. Like when a 1,200 pound phone, and the primary job of that phone is to make a phone call, and there are loads of issues with that. Then the second requirement is, for me, is a camera. And in my actual review, I've said the camera was actually a bad thing. Once I've said that, I've started getting used to taking pictures the Samsung way. For most of the time, the phone resorts to 12 megapixels all the time. You have to manually switch to 200 megapixel. If you take a photo using 200 megapixel, it's minimum 30 to 50 megabytes in storage size. That's fine, but there's just pink hues on the photo. So the 200 megapixel processes and makes a human faces have like a pink tint. And for me, like with my skin color, the pink tint slightly makes it unrealistic. And it's not what I'm actually seeing. It's not the same as the picture qualities I get from the other phones. On top of the fact, every time you zoom in, the minute you try to sort of utilize the zoom, you have to compromise on the quality. I've also put another video on loads of issues with the cameras. The camera, when you zoom in, it vibrates or it takes really smudgy photos, it's unclear. And I don't know what it is, but I've not had a great experience as I've expected. Connectivity on this phone has been a mixed bag for me. Wi-Fi, WhatsApp calls and Wi-Fi, the download speeds have been fine. But again, like when I test the Wi-Fi speed against an iPhone, this phone loses every single time. But for what it's worth, the Wi-Fi part of the connectivity on this device is good enough. It's good enough as a daily driver. But when you look at Bluetooth connectivity, I'm not really sure what's going on. Initially, as I moved over from an iPhone, I tried to connect the AirPods Pro and they didn't work well, and I thought it's probably an ecosystem issue. And then I've used the Buds 3 Pro and the Buds 3 together. And even then, the experience that I've got wasn't as good as I'd expected. Sometimes the volume sounds great. Sometimes I'd see a decrease in volume. And I always felt it's probably something to do with the connections and call quality till I actually bought Ray-Ban Meta, and that had an open ear speakers. And initially that device was sounding really great. And then a couple of days later, when I had my Meta on, the sound quality was really low. I couldn't hear anybody over the phone calls. And then the song sounded really quiet. And then I'll have to reset everything and then restart this phone. And then all of a sudden, with the same conditions, I could hear people loud and clear as how I would expect. So having gone through multiple devices, earpods, overhead earphones, and Meta devices, I can safely say this is an issue with the phone's Bluetooth connection rather than the devices itself. You cannot have way too many devices failing randomly just on this phone, but you'd get a consistent connection on any other phones. I've used iPhones in the past and they connect really well. The sound quality, when compared with an iPhone 13 Pro Max, which is 4 years old phone, this phone still sounds terrible, right? Like this phone packs a punch when it comes to Dolby Atmos, and you know, you can literally fine tune the way how this phone sounds and amplify how you want. Well, at least according to the spec sheet. To show, look, this is full sound on, right? This is full sound, right? And then we just go and play a video. With the UV light, there are some glasses out there in the market where it transitions based on any type of light, but the one that Ray-Ban uses is that you do need UV light to type of light. But the one that Ray-Ban uses is that you do need UV light. So if you're buying this, you're going to see the full transition because your windshield kind of blocks the UV light. So if you're going to use these glasses for driving, I suggest you just or driving or whatnot, you're not going to see the full transition because your windshield kind of blocks the UV light. So if you're going to use... I've turned on Dolby Atmos, I put maximum volume. A 4-year-old iPhone can beat this phone when it comes to speaker quality. I get we might not use a speaker all the time when it comes to sort of, you know, day-to-day usage. Most of the time it's going to be plugged into an Bluetooth earphones or whatnot. But when you want to use it, when you want to sort of put it on, when you're getting ready, or, you know, when you're ironing your clothes or whatever, and you want to use this as a, you know, just a, you know, a speaker, this doesn't sound really good. For me, I would still stand by the fact that this phone has the best screen quality I've seen. The brightness is really great, and it does get super bright in sunlight. And then the quality of the screen is really good. You can actually change the settings from normal to vivid. The vivid looks really punchy. And this phone also comes with the anti-reflective coating. So if you have direct lights on the phone, you know, it minimizes that and you don't get too much of glare and you can see what it does. But one thing I'm really annoyed about on my screen is the fact that it smudges so much, to the fact that I've started paying attention to it and I've compared it with an iPhone 13 and all the other phones. Again, sorry to go back to iPhones, but it is a direct competitor to this product. And the way how the screen smudges here is really worrying. I think the olophobic coating on the screen has completely vanished. And you can see if I just scratch here, you can see how bad it sort of picks up the dirt and everything on the finger. But that doesn't seem to sort of happen on any other phones, and that's worrying because it's sort of concentrated in the middle where I touch it, and it doesn't happen anywhere else. So if I let me just close this. So if I'm touching at the top, is not as bad as touching in the middle. So all in all, for £1,200, this phone has let me down on its primary objectives, right? Basically, what I expect from every phone to do, this phone doesn't do that well. But despite the phone not achieving the primary objectives for me, I'm still happy to give Samsung a second chance. And I tell you why. Firstly, it's because of the multitasking. This phone is still the best when it comes to multitasking. And for me, I value the multitasking a lot. For example, I watch YouTube videos, I'm researching on something and then I'm taking notes at the same time. Or I get a message and I can quickly use the pop-up function to respond back to the message without having to stop the videos that I'm watching. And that's been a massive lifesaver for me. The second thing, battery life has been really good. I'm just charging it once a day and I take it to work and I do whatever I want to do. Sometimes I only charge it 50-60%. And that seems to sort of, understand my usages and optimizes the battery according to how I want. So those are the two things that have helped me to sort of, keep this phone and look beyond some of the basic issues that it has. If multitasking is the main reason I'm using this, I might as well take advantage of the multitasking powerhouse that is the Fold 7. So I've placed my pre-order and I'm waiting for that phone to come. You might say the battery on that might be a little bit weaker than this, but we'll cross the bridge. I'm not really, again, when I look at my primary requirement, battery wasn't even a thing for me. So I'm happy to let that slide past. But I'm giving Samsung the second chance and I'm staying true to switching away from the iOS ecosystem into the Samsung and Android ecosystem, because I do want to sort of take advantage of the technologies out there, be at the forefront of technological changes and don't get left behind. So I still want to sort of believe in that mantra. So I am going to sort of stick to Samsung. I'm going to give them the second chance and I will upgrade. So if you're interested in seeing my views on how that goes with the Fold 7, do give me a subscribe and look out for the new video. If not, I hope this video has given you some clarity on the basic issues that this phone struggles with, and maybe if it does sort of help you make a decision one way or another, do drop a comment. If you think I've got this wrong and you don't really experience that, or if you've had this happen to you and you found a way to fix that, do let me know, because that's going to help me feel better about using this phone and maybe improve the usability of this phone. If not, till I see you in the next one. Take care.